That sounded good.
Who are you? She's Miriam, co-founder.
Oh, sorry. That sounded good.
And I'm Chris. Hi.
I didn't realize we'd started.
Yeah, we did. I'm also one of the co-founders present and the technical guy behind Keto Chow. I was setting things up and I was really close to the camera and I'm like, that's a funny shot. Anyway,
Look at your notes.
if you're brand new to Keto Chow, it's a nutritionally complete meal designed to make doing keto easy. We also have some electrolyte supplements that are amazing for everyday use and for keeping the dreaded keto flu away.
I'm Miriam, co-founder and COO of Keto Chow.
Be
And
sure to
I was not
subscribe.
paying attention.
You
Yes,
said be
so
sure to
I'll say the
subscribe.
second part now. Be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel and hit the little bell icon for updates on all our Keto Chow happenings. And when I'm not paying attention, you can follow along with us on our keto journey.
I gave you the 15 seconds.
I know, but I was
Anyway.
like texting Ruth. Well,
She's la-dee-da-da-da. Anyway, Joanne is here, so is Dennis.
And finishing up my dinner.
Lori is here as well. Visual Keto says, howdy, howdy, keto friends. LB is here from New Hampshire.
Ooh!
Visual Keto says this is where we bug for big bags of butterscotch.
Oh.
Hey, thank you so much for your interest in butterscotch and saying that you want it in big bags and it's a permanent flavor, all of that. Butterscotch was extremely popular. It's going to be a little while before we decide whether or not we are going to bring it back and whether it's going to be in large bags or not at all, or hey, it's still up in the air. You can go on our website to the Butterscotch page and there's a little thing where you can request to be notified when it's available, if it is available. At this point, what's going to happen is, again, we're going to make a decision about it. If it does come back, it will take anywhere from 3 to 9 months for it to be available. So, again, thank you so much for your interest. Please continue to let us know that you want it. Don't expect it anytime soon. Robin says hello, and Gigi is here as well. Teresa is here, and Vanessa is here from Denver, Colorado.
Hi, Vanessa.
Rickwan says trick or treat, Chris. There you go.
Right?
There's Kendra, Just Jason, Keto and Morris here.
Excuse me.
We were talking to each other on Lindsay's vertical video live stream that she was doing from her car.
Oh, I wish I would have done that.
Lady Laugh a Lot is here, so is Shari. Let's see, Neely is here, says, hey, hey.
Sorry. I was texting again. I got a text message and I wanted to see what it was. Hi, Neely. How are
Gina
you?
says Killjoy is here. I'm so old.
What? You're amazing.
Nancy's here as well. Shauna says, I was also not paying attention. Had opened the live 40 minutes ago. Sat across the room folding
Like,
laundry. And then Chris and
why
Miriam
are you
speaking
never
during my
appearing?
docu-series of pop music. Visual Keto likes the nice close-up of my specs. These are interesting. These have, what's it called? The darkening thing.
Transitions?
Yes, they do a gray transition, but they don't work in a car.
Yeah.
And so it's kind of useless to me.
So you pretty much can only use them in a fun park.
They're my backup glasses.
He gets a pair of glasses and then just puts them in every car.
Yep.
And then he gets a new prescription. Who knows what the newest one is? There's one in the office.
The newest
one
prescription
at
is
his
in
desk.
my car.
He's like an old lady leaving his readers everywhere.
Anyway, Loretta is here, so is Suzanne. Visual Keto loves the canned statement. Well, I actually had it prepared for yesterday's live stream, but nobody actually said that they... well, until Mike. Mike was the first one
at the
after
very
the
end.
end. He's like, butterscotch in big bags. And I was like,
But it's 48
oh.
seconds long.
It
It's
is
going to
48
get
seconds.
old real fast.
Yep. Gigi says, my birthday is Friday. I'd like to redeem my happy birthday song coupon. You ready?
Wait.
Gigi. Gigi's
Gigi?
here.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure I got the right name.
I was doing the same thing.
Okay,
1, 2,
gotcha.
5. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Gigi. Happy birthday to you.
Yay!
Today we went to the Planetarium, which is free.
Yeah, I didn't know.
Just so much fun stuff to go around and do and sciencey stuff. And there was a seismograph, and it's like, try jumping and see if you can, move the needle. And I said, okay, everyone, on the count of 5. 1, 2, 5, and we all jumped. It was really funny to me. Anyway, let's see. Nancy wants the butterscotch as well. Crystal Harris says, whoop, whoop. Becky says, a few months ago, Chris said how to get an unwilling doctor to prescribe a CGM. Can you tell us how that again? It's something that Dr. Barry recommended to Joe, so I'm stealing it from there. But here you go. When they refuse you a CGM, you say, I understand that you are refusing me a CGM, which I am requesting in order to prevent getting diagnosed with having type 2 diabetes. I would like you to note in my medical record that you are refusing to prescribe that to me. Thank you.
And then they'll prescribe
they will prescribe it. Now, whether or not your insurance pays for it is another thing entirely. My insurance will not pay for it, so I just have to pay for it out of pocket if I want to use a CGM.
But the doctor does want to put something onto the chart.
Yes.
So
often that'll be something like metabolic syndrome.
That's what our doctor does. Just like, how about I put metabolic syndrome? Okay.
Yep. And if you have a high A1C, it should be a no-brainer.
Yeah.
But anyway. Let's see. Milady says, guess I'm keeping my butterscotch, and the other one's not available in the back of the closet till they come back.
Sorry.
Mwah. Supposing darkness is here. Oh, Gina says, I mean Kilroy. Now I've got that.
Kilroy.
Yep. Domo arigato, Mr. Roboto.
Domo arigato, Mr. Roboto.
Let's see. Bob says, I have a butterscotch Keto Chow in the fridge.
Nice. I want a butterscotch creamy. It's gone now.
Oh, Visual Keto says only
tiny
the extra active transitions will darken in the car. Standard transitions only use UV radiation. Yep. Which UV is blocked by your auto windshield. Yes, that is correct.
Which active, what did you say?
Extra active. But
that also means extra price,
well,
right?
and it also means that they dim weirdly. I just get the stupid, cheap, clip-on sunglasses from Walmart that look so amazing.
He likes to look as dorky as possible.
And I'm okay with that. Anyway, let's see. Becky is here. See, Jason says, it was great meeting both of you at Ketopalooza.
Yes, it sure was. Thank you.
Lynette's here as well. Hi, Lynette.
Lynette.
So, here's what I've been doing for the last couple hours today.
All right, let's hear it.
So, I went down a bit of a rabbit hole because I am tracking everything in Cronometer again.
Okay.
And to do that, I needed to put in chocolate Keto Chow 2.8.
Right.
And Cronometer did not have
Cronometer was
chocolate
lacking.
Keto Chow version 2.8.
Okay.
So here's the thing. One of the things that we wanted to discuss today was why do we recommend Cronometer instead of Carb Manager?
Because it's freaking awesome.
Okay, this is what happens if you pull up Cronometer and you search for Keto Chow Eggnog.
Okay.
There's a version 3 that I actually published today. Or sent it to them today to get approved.
Yes.
They haven't published it yet. That's okay. It's coming. And then there's a version 2.6.1. Okay?
So you're missing the 2.8.
Well, 2.8 and 3 are exactly the same.
Okay, it's just a different package.
Different package.
So to confuse people.
And then there's a Keto Chow Eggnog Marshmallows, which is
that's a recipe.
A recipe.
That we entered into there. So that's why it says custom food. Yep. Because we've entered all of them all the recipes into Cronometer.
And I'm a friend with
Keto Chow.
hello@ketochow.net. If you go to the bottom of any of our recipes,
I know
there's
it's
a thing that says, hey, if you use Cronometer, you can add hello@ketochow.net as a friend, and then you'll be able to see the recipes. Anyway.
And then we don't have to put them in.
So here you've got Keto Chow Eggnog. There's only 2 entries, okay? And these have been this top one, the Cronometer database, has been verified by them as being correct. This is what you get when you type Keto Chow Eggnog into Carb Manager.
Okay.
What's star Keto Chow Eggnog that has
5 grams, 0 grams, 26
1 gram,
grams.
5 grams.
So really, what you need to do is pretty much put it in yourself and make it so that it would come up every time. Like the star one.
You
that
literally
probably
need
somebody
to enter
did that.
Yeah.
And then they just bring it up every time.
Like it just keeps on going.
Oh my gosh.
Here's eggnog with heavy whipping cream added.
Yeah. Wow.
Here's another one with heavy whipping cream. Here's a half cup heavy whipping cream. here is Keto Chow Eggnog Shake by Tam.
Good job, Tam.
So if you are interested in adding your own information in,
Yeah.
or doing a lot of research to make sure that the entries in Carb Manager are correct.
Can you click through and see if it has more information than just that? Like if you click on one of those, does it have any more information? Okay, so then say you take the packet and then you look at it and see if it matches. Then you'd be fine to just use it. But if it doesn't match, then you'd have to keep looking until you find one that matches.
But I also can't see any of this stuff unless I have the premium
Oh,
Carb Manager.
Carb Manager. Okay, okay.
Anyway, so this whole thing, yes, I'm sharing. This whole thing of there's this many entries
Yeah.
for Keto Chow Eggnog, and that's one of the less popular flavors. That is why we recommend Cronometer. Now, back to Cronometer. The reason why I was going down a bit of a, whatchamacallit, a bit of a
rabbit hole
today is because I realized that it wasn't in there. That version 3.0 wasn't in there. And I was like, okay, I can do something about this. So I'm like, do I just add chocolate version 2.8/3.0 and then move on and it's okay and that's a temporary fix? Which is kind of like if you're a farmer in a field and there's a rock in the way. Do you plow around it? Or do you go get the backhoe and you come back and you dig up the rock?
You take 3 hours.
I'm a dig out the rock, fix things kind of guy.
Which is why whenever he says, I'm fixing something on the computer, how long will it take? Oh, probably 20 minutes. He really means 2 hours.
Yeah. So we use a database, that's not important, to keep track of all the ingredients that go in the different flavors of Keto Chow.
It's a lot.
And it has all the nutrition information for each ingredient. And then how much of each ingredient. And then each flavor has all of the ingredients that are used for that. And then it calculates the nutrition for each one. And we use that to create the packaging.
Which is a lot of work.
Or the nutrition panels. And then we have to dumb them down with rounding, which is
dumb.
But anyway, we have to round them down. And, well, I was like, I wonder if I can figure out how to get the data into Cronometer. And there's a thing called a JavaScript object notation. Yes, it's very, very, well, I'll show you what it looks like. Are you
sharing right now?
I am sharing.
That's so boring.
This is what Eggnog Keto Chow looks like. And it's kind of hard to read.
At least it's eggnog color.
But it's a bunch of, you've got an ID, a nutrient ID, and then the amount for each one of those. And it's based on 100 grams.
Okay.
And anyway, it took me a while to do it. But I figured it out.
Push the nerd button real quick?
Oh, sure.
Thanks.
Actually, I'm not sure if it'll work
Well,
because we're sharing the screen. But we can switch back
Oh, thank you.
and hit the nerd. So I figured it out.
Nerd.
And now I can export out of our actual
Database.
nutrition database
Which is very much closed.
ready to go
protected.
file to import into Cronometer.
That's so amazing.
So creating a new entry in Cronometer now takes me a minute and a half.
Ooh.
And that includes adding the picture of the label and submitting it for approval. So I can just crank through them now. I got about 30 done before I came home.
And made dinner, thank you very much.
I reheated taco meat that I made.
Yeah, we're going to have to make something else out of the taco meat for tomorrow because they will not want it 3 nights in a row.
It's really good. By the way, one of our favorite meals is You take a bunch of ground beef. You brown it in a pan with maybe some cumin and chili powder, onion powder, garlic powder. You don't use taco seasoning because taco seasoning has a lot of
Yeah, you
wheat.
have to make your own taco seasoning.
It has
which
wheat
is not
in it.
very hard.
And the wheat is there so that it makes kind of a creamy sauce. Mm-hmm. Well, guess what you can use instead?
Cumin.
Well, we don't have any more of the taco flavor Keto Chow. But we did have the tomato basil.
Oh, okay.
And both of those have the acacia gum in them.
Yeah, and that does give
which
it like that
makes,
thickness.
It makes all of the drippings, the stuff that renders out.
Yes.
Instead of draining it, you mix in some Keto Chow, and it turns it into a creamy sauce. Anyway, so that's what we've been having for dinner for the last 2 nights. And it was great.
Was yummy.
Okay, so I'm done nerding out. But yes, Cronometer versus Carb Manager. There you go.
And there are other programs too. And MyFitnessPal is one of them. And we used to use MyFitnessPal when we first started tracking a million years ago. And it's the same. Anybody can enter, which is so cool. But then anybody can enter, which is not so cool.
Yeah. Anyway, Gina says I had a butterscotch for lunch and another one for dinner. And Marianne says I just added myself to the notification list for butterscotch in case you look at that when making a decision about butterscotch.
Okay, thank you.
Actually, we do.
We do.
We can get a report of how many people have requested to be notified when something comes back in stock. And I know that on blueberry pie.
Yeah, we looked at it.
We did look at it
before
4 or 5
ordering.
times.
Yeah.
To help us judge whether to bring it back and how much to bring it back. So there you go. Andrew says, when I saw how fast butterscotch was selling, I hurried up and ordered. It's a keeper.
That's a good idea.
There were some people who took my word or my assessment that we had really a lot of it.
I have the answers.
We did have really a lot of it.
He sometimes has the answers. He has the smart answers. I have the realistic answers.
We had 3 times more of the butterscotch than we did of all of the blueberry pie from both batches.
But I'm a better predictor. Okay?
Anyway, turns out people wanted butterscotch. Let's see. Beachfront Java is here. Shauna says, this is not a drill on Chris's shirt and Keto Chow logo floating over it.
Oh, yeah.
Double vision.
Yeah, it looks weird.
Let's see. Oh, Rickwin's going to make some protein crackers. Nice.
Yum.
Laura says, I'm trying so hard not to use heavy whipping cream as my fat, but it seems to be the only one I like. I haven't tried avocado oil.
Have you tried butter?
Well, I think that's what Lars, yes, means.
Oh, yes.
Now, I have tried mixing Keto Chow with butter with not a blender, and it did not work out for me at all.
Yeah.
I have to use a blender.
And before we discovered butter, I was mixing avocado oil and heavy cream together because I liked the creaminess of the cream, but I wanted the lower carb count. So it also gives you higher ketones with avocado oil. So you can try that if you want.
You can. I would definitely use a blender or an immersion blender, though. If you just try to shake it up by hand, it kind of has an oily slick, which isn't bad. But I liked how the avocado oil emulsified in when I used a blender.
Yep.
Which is actually how I discovered that butter works. Yep. We were mixing up for low carb Denver, and I was like, I'm going to totally use this blender. And I'm like, wow, it mixes so much better with the blender. And I'm like, I wonder if melted butter works, and it totally did. We were not expecting that. We were really happy. And Patricia says, shout out to customer service and fulfillment. They rock. Oh, Angela says, I sent this to my daughter, type 1 diabetic, to try for late dinners.
Oh, yeah, that's nice. She will probably still have to have a little bit of insulin, but it should be slow rising.
And says, love me some Jason. Yeah, it's just a way of moving data between things. So, and I think on their back end, in their database, Cronometer uses JSON. And so they're like, if you really want to export this, you can. And in the bad old days, before we got Keto Chow into Cronometer,
yeah,
I actually had hey, here's how you can add Keto Chow to
yeah,
your
as
Cronometer. And there were JSON files that you could export and import. And then actually it was the Cronometer. We were talking to Aaron, the guy who runs it, at a show, like conference. And he's like, why don't you just submit it to the database? I'm like,
Why don't I?
I tried that and you guys didn't apply it. He's like, try it now. And
While
it was
I'm
approved.
paying attention.
It was approved like 2 hours later.
Like,
so
toot, 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 toot. Good
anyway,
job.
Rob is here. Let's see. Oh, and yeah, Shauna blacked out again. Shauna says, take your taco meat and make taco scrambled eggs with cheese and pork rinds.
You know, we've been doing that. I mean, you haven't. I've been making I've been making eggs with chicken with taco seasoning and some of the pork and good jalapeno cheese seasoning.
Oh, that's so good.
For Ruth, because she's been lifting weights and she wants more
We took some
protein.
of that, the jalapeno cheese, the smoky jalapeno cheese seasoning to your brother's house so we could put it on deviled eggs.
Oh, so good.
And it disappeared. So now we're on our last bottle of that seasoning.
Oh.
We should probably order some more.
You should probably put that on your salmon.
Yeah, or on my Christmas list. Rob says I'm still loving the pecan sticky bun keto chow. It
Me
would
too.
be good on salmon.
I am. You're right. I am also
Anyway.
right about that.
Karen says, love the blueberry. It reminds me of blueberry cereal.
Oh, yes.
Gina says, hey, Chris, guess what? That means you sold a lot.
Yeah, I did.
Visual Keto says, yeah, because butterscotch is the bomb. Obviously, we all love butter.
Yeah.
JG Enerly, sorry, says sticky bun is terrific.
Yeah, it
Nice.
is. I like it too.
Yeah, and Lars says, I
We
don't
need to make
like
creamies. Maybe we can make creamies after this because there's so many creamy containers in the cupboard. A glass fell out and broke today.
A glass did, really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
That was squished in next to the creamy containers.
Okay. Shauna says that Star-Lord packed my last order of butterscotch.
Oh, wow.
Really?
That's funny. Somebody must have borrowed that stamp because
Yeah,
doesn't
because
work there
that's
anymore.
Brandon's, and he hasn't.
You know, it's probably new. It was probably newbie.
It might be, and they just decide. Oh, you know what? It's probably
Yep, it
Senor
probably is.
Backman.
Yeah.
He's like, I want to be Star-Lord.
Okay.
Marianne says lots of people have butterscotch childhood memories. Yeah, me too. Lena Soto Thomas says first live stream. Welcome.
Hey, glad you're
Love
here.
Keto Chow. I'm
Thanks for
excited to
saying
learn
hi.
more. Yep. And yeah, Sean says that's the stamp. Okay, we have a giveaway going on our Instagram with Barney Butter. It's running this week. It ends on the 26th,
Oh,
so
that
2
sounds
days.
yummy. Barney
The
Butter.
link is in the description of the video down below. So, yeah, there's a link over to that giveaway. And there were a couple of posts on the Keto Chow Facebook support group that were in a similar vein. So I wanted to do a public service announcement.
Okay.
When you place an order, not just with Keto Chow,
Anywhere.
but anywhere, number one, check to make sure that the shipping address is the one you want it delivered to. And I say that because you may have typed in the shipping address, and if you go to use something like Shop Pay, Shopify Pay, or PayPal, or Amazon Pay, or one of those other things, they usually have addresses stored in there. Computer talk.
It's time now
And
for computer
if
talk.
you select that you want to use one of those accelerated checkouts like Shop Pay, Amazon Pay, PayPal, they will often override.
The address you've entered.
And we've had a couple people who have been like, hey, I ordered this and it's going to the wrong address. And it's usually because it got overridden by a saved address.
Yes.
And again, you can type in any address you want, but if you go and select PayPal and then you check out, it will wipe out what you typed and use the address that PayPal has on the file.
That's defaulted into the file.
So,
Which may be your old one because you don't use PayPal all the time, or
Yes.
whatever that is.
or Shop Pay, or whatever. Or you had an order shipped to your daughter last time,
Yeah.
or something like that. Now, when you get the thank you for your order email from any company, including Keto Chow, take a second and just look at the address that's on there.
And see
Make
if
sure
it's correct.
it's the right address. You know your address, make sure it's going to the right one. Because at that point, we can change it.
Usually stop it.
Like if you place an order and then you get the confirmation email and you're like,
Oh, that's not right.
that is totally not right. I have no idea why that's in there.
That is not the right address.
Yeah, you can, well, so on
Reach
our
out to us
website,
quick.
depending on the time of day, you actually have the ability to cancel the order yourself or edit the order yourself, which actually just cancels the order and creates a new one.
Yeah.
It's kind of weird. Anyway, or you can reach out to our customer service. So if it's like after hours, you can usually change the order yourself. If it's during hours, yeah, literally just call us up on the phone. I know it's not cool these days to use a telephone,
Like old people.
but getting it taken care of before our amazing fulfillment team gets it sent out,
Yep.
give us a call.
We
Yeah,
want to do
we'll
it
solve it.
right. If you have a problem, you'll
Gina wants to know
solve
what's
it.
everyone being for Halloween. Miriam wants me to go
Well,
get a
DJ's
Harry Potter
resolved it.
cloak.
Ice, baby. Well, I tried to buy you one, but they didn't have one in the right size.
Okay. Shauna says, no kidding. I nearly shipped a ton of keto bricks to my friends, Heath and Shelly. Shop pay is tricky if you don't look. Yes,
Yeah.
it is.
And I've done that too. Like even on Amazon orders, I have like 1 million addresses in there because
Yeah.
I send stuff to family and stuff. I have to make sure I put it in the right one because I sent stuff to my dad one time and then I go to order something. I'm like, oh crap, I just sent it to my dad. I wanted that for here.
Yeah. Dennis likes to use an immersion blender, butter, coconut oil together. Yeah. It says everything gets measured. Nice.
Yay.
Sean says Keto Chow is the best customer service, and Keto Brick is really good as well. They're great companies.
Yes. I did accidentally order way too many keto bricks, though, and I'm sad that it's not my favorite flavor. But I'm still gonna eat them. I ordered 6, and then I ordered 6, and then I ordered 6, and I meant to only order 6, but I ordered 3 times 6.
Oh. Like they were hanging out in your shopping cart, and when you went to check out.
Because it shut down halfway through, and I'm sure it was just the system or my phone or like I lost Wi-Fi or something weird.
The system.
And so it didn't look like I'd finished the checkout, but I had, and then I did again, and it did again. It's fine. I stopped ordering after that and said, if I don't get them, it's fine.
Okay. Okay, here's a good question. I'm going to let you answer.
Okay, what is the question?
Can Keto Chow be used by people who are not doing a ketogenic diet?
Absolutely. Absolutely, they can. So here's the thing. A lot of people would like to use milk, which that's fine.
It's honestly a lot of sugar.
Like, it's fine if that's what you're choosing to do. But I recommend using heavy cream with a little bit of water instead.
Yes, because for all intents and purposes,
because it's going to be less sugar.
Heavy cream plus water equals milk minus sugar.
Yeah. So that may be weird, but that's what we do at our house instead of milk.
Yeah.
And it seems to work out good, and it tastes just the same. It's just less sugar.
Yep.
Also, it's great because Keto Chow has all those nutrients, electrolytes, and minerals. And so if you're not doing keto, it's still a great option.
Yep. Now, one thing that I would not recommend is combining a high carbohydrate diet with a high fat diet.
Right.
That's a recipe for disaster.
A recipe for disaster.
I heard it in my head too. Because, one thing that Amy Berger, years ago, she was talking about, she said, hey, all you people who are doing keto, the fat that you're losing, it's not the sugar that you were eating that you're losing now. It's the fat that you were eating with the sugar that got stored because your body can't store sugar. It has to store fat.
Yeah.
That is what you are working on. And she was trying to point out that a high-fat, high-sugar diet is a bad thing. You don't want to never the twain shall meet sort of thing.
Which makes sense why if you're snacking while you're doing keto and you get too many high carbs, that essentially would be doing the same thing.
Yeah, your body will say, Well,
like,
I have to take care of these carbohydrates first.
and
I'm gonna
then
store
it's
this
going to
other stuff.
store. So that makes sense.
Yeah. So if you are someone who is not doing a ketogenic diet, or let's say we've got kids. I mean, we do have kids, so we don't have to
Let's
say
say
we've
we
got
have
kids.
kids.
Let's say you, like us, have kids. Now, Keto Chow is not indicated for use by children, nursing, or pregnant women. Please consult your physician before starting any dietary program. End lawyer talk. Anyway, we give Keto Chow to our kids. And they are not doing, well, most of them are not doing a ketogenic diet. We don't buy sugar and stuff like that. So the amount of carbs that they're getting is probably in the lower single-digit percentile of the
Yeah, 100
US.
instead of 300.
Yeah,
Closer to 100.
like it's only stuff that they buy, and they don't have a lot of money because they
don't
keep
give
on
them
spending it
any
on
money.
stupid stuff, and we don't give them money.
Although
Anyway.
right now they're into video games, which I'm okay with,
Yeah.
because they don't play very often, and it doesn't taste like carbohydrates.
Sean says, okay, you have kids. Yeah, so let's say you, like us, have kids, and you are like, hey, I've got this thing that tastes really good, and I know it will give you a lot of good nutrition. One of our sons, he keeps on, I don't know, he's having some weird nutritional deficiency.
We should
I think
just
it's-
get his blood taken, for crying out
and-
loud.
I'm like, dude, I want you to drink a Keto Chow every day. And he's like, okay. And when he does, he doesn't have like pains in his legs or random fatigue.
We took him to the doctor. We did all these tests.
We did like $3,000 of tests, and they didn't
They're
find
like,
anything.
nah, nothing wrong with him.
Even did MRIs.
I'm like, why is he feeling weird?
And I think it's just like either not enough protein or not enough iron or
I want
something.
to get a vitamin D test.
But we designed Keto Chow to be nutritionally complete, even for people who aren't doing a ketogenic diet. So when I'm like, dude, I want you to eat a Keto Chow a day, when he does,
He feels great.
he feels great. Yeah, well, for
just
Sarah
be
says maybe he's just
electrolytes.
growing. If he grows
If he
anymore,
grows
he's going to be
anymore, he's
7
going to
feet
pop
tall.
through the roof.
It's insane. Anyway, what I will generally recommend for people if they choose to give Keto Chow to their children like we do, is if you have smaller children like we did, instead of giving them an entire one, give them a cup and say, here, why don't you pour the Keto Chow into the cup and drink as much as you want.
And then you'll be full.
And then
That'll be enough.
and that works really well, which is kind of the same way that they eat dinosaur-shaped chicken nuggets and macaroni and cheese.
And then you gain weight when you're a young mom because you have to finish off everyone's plates.
Yes. Anyway, yeah. So to answer the question again, can Keto Chow be used by people who are not doing keto?
You bet.
Yes. We recommend at least 10 grams of fat in there so that you can absorb the vitamins.
Yep, which people have a hard time with. They don't like us telling them that, but that's just how vitamins work.
Yeah. Vitamins A, D, E, K, and magnesium,
A, B,
and
C,
calcium.
D,
They
E,
all
F, G,
need fat in order to be absorbed.
H, I, J, K, L,
And it says,
M, N, O,
it's like getting a
vitamins.
sugar-free ice pop versus a sugar-loaded ice pop. Yep.
Yep.
Dennis says Max needs surges of taurine, a semi-essential nutrient. Yeah, it's a conditionally essential amino acid. I think is what taurine is. Anyway,
I'm just gonna get a gamut of blood tests because the
We
blood
did that.
tests I didn't see it. I want to look at it with my eyeballs.
okay, so just ask for the results.
I also want the vitamin D because you said they didn't get that.
So here's a fun thing.
Okay.
Last night we were talking to Dave Feldman. Allow me to
Yeah,
name
we
drop.
were. We were talking to Dave Feldman on
Well,
the phone.
It was funny because we recently did a meetup. For those of you who don't know, 4 times a year, quarterly, we're doing a meetup where we invite people to come and speak.
Yeah.
At our last meetup, I was talking to someone who was asking about getting blood tests, and I was like, well, instead of going through your doctor, you can actually just go to ownyourlabs.com. And the cool thing about Own Your Labs is you can just select all these tests, and it's way cheaper than usually paying your insurance for these blood
That's
tests.
like $130 or something.
And you don't have to have a doctor. Well, they have a doctor prescribe the blood test for you or
Yes.
order the blood test.
Yes.
So it's all on the up and up, but
Yeah, it's legit.
You get the blood test delivered directly to you.
And then you get a look at it.
And if you want to, you can show them to your doctor.
And I have taken blood tests to multiple doctors and say, I don't understand what this means.
And the cool thing about it is, like I said, it's cheap. And so I was explaining to this one guy about it, and another person, he's like, so I couldn't help but hear what you were just saying.
Can you tell me that again?
I am a clinician that works at this doctor's office, and a lot of times people's insurance pitches a hissy fit about the blood tests that we want to order. Can you get me that information again? And I was like, yes, absolutely I can. Is
it the older guy?
No, he was younger.
Oh, you know what? There was a million people there that time.
Yeah, there were a million people there.
I don't know who that was.
Anyway, I told him about it, and he was like, wow, that is super helpful. And Dave was telling us that Own Your Labs is doing amazingly well.
That's good.
It's just growing like crazy. I want to know when he's going to hire a personal assistant, because right now his wife is acting as an assistant.
I think she's going to get tired fast.
I think she is too.
But, sometimes wives do things that,
It's true.
Don't make sense because they love their spouse.
It's true. We all do stuff that doesn't make sense.
But then it becomes fulfilling for us and we stick around. Although I think I might work from home again tomorrow.
Okay.
I'm having too much fun playing with the kids.
Fly River Keto is here. Been watching with Liz for a bit, but we wanted to tell you that we're here. Hi.
I miss you.
So,
tell your kids hello.
Yeah. And did you see his son was playing in a
Yeah.
marching band?
Yeah. I think he's done with marching band.
I think that's what it was.
Yeah. But it was their daughter's birthday, I think. Ruth told me a couple days ago or weeks ago or sometime not that long ago, maybe. I'm not remembering correctly. I'm sorry, Scott.
Okay.
It's fine.
Loretta says, who draws the blood?
Oh, you can take it to your local
Well, okay, so
place.
with Own Your Labs, they can either do it through, they usually like to do it through LabCorp.
Which I like to do it through LabCorp.
But you can also do it, I think, through Quest Diagnostics.
Yes.
And what they'll do is they will give you a PDF of a doctor blood test order.
Yes.
And you take it with you. Well, you print it out. And you take it with you and you give it to them. And you've, at this point, already paid Own Your Labs for the blood test.
And if you go to LabCorp, you can make an appointment and then go with the appointment time. And it's so much faster.
Oh, yeah. If you don't have an appointment at LabCorp, forget about it, because you're there with people who are doing mandatory drug tests and things like that.
Or other things. And their doctor literally sent them over 5 minutes ago. So you're just going to be waiting. So make an appointment and then you'll get in. It's way faster than it used to be. You used to have to sit there for half an hour or 45 minutes or an hour.
Now, there are some states that can't do Own Your Labs because of regulations from the state, but they spell all that out there.
So come to Utah, visit me, get your blood drawn at LabCorp through Own Your Labs. We'll go on a hike.
Crystal said I went to get a CAC scan, but I didn't see that as an option on Own Your Labs. Is there another source?
Oh.
So I know it's not on Own Your Labs.
I don't think it's on Own Your Labs because that's a different thing.
Yeah. Last time we went to go get a coronary artery calcium scan. I just Googled CAC scan Utah.
Near me. Yeah.
Or near me.
And so we just found it and literally called the hospital and said, hey, how do I schedule this? And I'm paying out of pocket.
Well, it ended up being a clinic that was associated with...
Oh, it just happened to be in the hospital, but it was through a clinic, right?
Well, we thought it was at the hospital.
Was it not?
It was not.
I swear we went to the hospital.
It was over there by the Harmons. No, not Harmons. By the Home Despot
we went somewhere and got a thing.
Yeah.
We just called around and said, hey, our insurance not covering it. We don't have a doctor. We just want to pay to do it. And they're like, okay. Yep. So we just paid them some money. And
I think it ended up being $60. That might have gone up. A lot of people were saying it was going to cost like $100. And it was not through our insurance. We just paid out of pocket.
It ended up being $60 a piece.
Yep. Lady Fritz Sitter says the closest LabCorp is 45 minutes away. Wow.
Yeah, but if you're saving that much money on the blood tests and you can get them without having a doctor, like some things are worth it. But I get that it might not be worth it for you. So just depends on if you really need it.
Yeah. Platte River Keo says, daughter had a birthday, son just finished marching band, full marks. Oh, and Lori says, thanks for the Equity Accelerator article. Got our setup today. Brilliant info.
Oh,
Do you
that sounds
remember
also
that?
very boring.
You remember that?
Yeah, no, I don't remember. Must have been too boring to remember. Equity Accelerator.
Okay, it's a funny article to have.
It's just a funny way you said it. It's the 2 bank account thing.
Yes.
Yes, I know what that is.
Okay, it goes along with the password security post. Has nothing to do with Keto Chow.
Nothing to do with Keto Chow.
But it keeps coming up in the live streams, and people are like, I want to know how to do that as well.
It was really smart. It really helped us not live paycheck to paycheck.
The short version, I'll grab the
awesome.
link, but the short version is...
This is our story. This is our little story.
Instead of paying a whole bunch of money to a mortgage company to take money out on a every other week basis and then only apply it once a month, which was stupid.
Which is the secret underlying little tiny print that you don't read.
Yeah.
And so they're getting that interest. We do it ourselves and have a separate checking account where we put half of our payment for the house payment into the second checking account on 1 week, and then half of the house payment on the second week. Well, I mean, pay period, not week. So then each pay period had a chunk of money and a chunk of money. And then once a month, all of the money for the house payment and the other bills that we put into there would go out.
Yep. So you just find all of your, create a new checking account, find all your monthly expenses, total them up, divide it by half, set up an auto transfer, and then use auto payment with that new account, and then let it run.
And then 2 times a year, there's actually 3 pay periods in a month.
Yep.
And we weren't counting on that. And we were already automatically moving the money over. All of a sudden, we had an extra $1,000 that we weren't counting on having. That was just already in our account
for Christmas.
So we used 1 year one time June for vacation, and then one was for Christmas, and it worked out so good. We were secretly saving, and we didn't even know.
And now, the idea is that you take that extra payment and apply it to your mortgage.
Of course, that makes the most.
And you
sense.
can do that.
Yeah.
But for us, the biggest thing about that was we no longer had to worry about is rent or car insurance or is that stuff coming out this paycheck? Because we can't buy food this paycheck.
And we also had a lot of medical bills that were weird. So we just took the 5 bills that were always the same. So the mortgage, the gas, water, whatever it was.
To 10.
It was, I remember 5. It was a few.
I was the
It
one
was
that set
the
it up.
bills that were the same every month.
If
and
it was
that
the
was
same
the
every
point.
time. Yes.
And so then
that was the point.
we could, whenever another bill would come in, we had this much money and we could use this much money that was in our regular checking account. And the other checking account we just didn't look at.
Yep.
We didn't touch.
Don't touch it.
It just did the auto stuff and did its thing. And then I knew, okay, I have this medical bill because I had 100 children and had to pay for them somehow. So we were able to
we saved
stop
$10,000 on medical bills by having 2 sets of twins.
Bill. Yeah, that was $20,000.
No, it was 10,000.
Oh,
it was
sorry.
5,000 each.
Oh,
each
I was
pregnancy.
adding them twice.
Yeah, each pregnancy was 5,000 no matter what.
I don't know. It seemed hard to me.
But then Kate was 6,500 because when you have a kid and they say, please let us know within 30 days if you want to add your new baby to your insurance.
Yeah, we do.
They mean it.
So do that. Because I have done that with Kate, and then also another one of our friends did the same thing, and we're like, oh, I should have told you that, but we didn't remember from now to now. Stinks.
Anne says LabCorp does send data to doctors' offices that do MyChart. Yes.
Oh, yeah.
But you will also, if you create an account with LabCorp,
LabCorp,
you get notified as soon as there's a
and
new
so even before
thing.
your doctor gets it, you can look at it.
Well, actually, no. LabCorp lets the doctor know first, and the doctor has to release it. But with Own Your Labs, they release it the same day.
That's what I'm talking about,
But
Own Your Labs. You get a look at it.
Yes, you do.
Just saying, you get a look at it.
Sorry.
Joyce, hi. How are you?
Terry says I'm going to
You see
make
my
Keto
heart?
Chow eggnog biscotti that we have on the side.
Oh, that sounds good.
And Gina says some Walgreens have LabCorp in the store. That's cool.
Oh, yeah. Totally.
Lewis says, will most insurances cover Keto Chow? Trying to up my fish-based snack games with some great keto recipes. Unfortunately,
Insurance won't
no.
cover Keto Chow. It's a food.
And my understanding is the IRS's official guidance on HSAs and FSAs, so flexible spending accounts, is that things like protein supplements, meal replacements, shakes, things like that, are not eligible.
Yep. Which is unfortunate because wouldn't that be awesome?
It is. So,
It would be so awesome.
yeah, I haven't ever found an insurance company that will cover that. You could try it though. Usually what you'd have to do is buy it and then submit it for reimbursement. So anyway, Brenda says that payment system really helped me. I needed simple. It's so wonderful to not worry about the bills. It literally changed our everything about
Changed everything
finances.
about our finances.
Like we were living in the overdraft of our
every
checking
single paycheck, and it was like so stressful. And then we were fighting, and we're like counting our pennies and making weird food. And
again, has nothing to do with keto, but
Yeah.
this is more than just keto. So
and we weren't keto then, so we were buying tons of formula because there's tons of babies.
Oh my gosh.
And diapers. Wow.
even you nursing basically full time, we were going
I
through
nursed full time, and I
2-pound
still
can
had.
of formula a week.
Yeah.
It was nuts.
They just ate a lot of food. Those two people at a time.
I want
Twice.
food. I want food.
Yeah,
There was a
food.
great Far Side cartoon that Ben had. It was these two birds sitting next to a baby carry, and it says, "Man, I've been feeding this thing all day, and it's still acting like it's hungry
Oh wow,
because they've been giving the baby worms."
that's funny.
I thought it was funny.
So funny.
Anyway, Barry's here. Did I say that?
Hey Barry, did you have a good birthday?
Oh, did we sing to Barry?
No, I don't think so.
1, 2, 3. Happy birthday to you.
We're still in the wrong key.
Happy.
Happy.
1, 2, 3. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Barry. Happy birthday to you.
Yay.
Do I usually do it higher? Or do
You usually have been, lately you've been doing it lower than normal.
Happy birthday.
That was still an octave lower, so it still would have been fine. But we've just been
Okay.
we've just been a little dissonant.
Okay.
Dissonance.
Speaking of
Dissonance.
dissonance, but not really dissonance. This came up the other day with, and I sent it to my kids.
Oh, that's so funny.
Here you go. Director, there was a mistake. Sopranos. It was the altos.
Altos.
It
It
was
was us.
Tenors. There was a mistake. Basses. What
Page are we on?
I'm sorry. I don't know why it's so funny to me.
It's funny because that's like literally choir. Except ours was the tenors that were always like, are we singing? Were we singing?
Yep. Anyway.
We only had like 4 tenors.
Really?
Yeah, it was
wow.
pretty bad.
Okay.
That's why Max is a tenor, because nobody sings tenor.
Donna says, can I say I love the way you two look at each other? So much love in your eyes.
Oh. Thank you, Donna. You're so sweet.
So this is choir humor. Love it. Anyway. Anything else you wanted to talk about?
Oh my gosh, I forgot to tell you guys this.
What's that?
So I was at the doctor today. We were doing some blood work for...
And he said, ooh,
Ruth.
ooh, ah, ah, ting, tang.
That
wah,
wasn't
wah,
it.
Bing, bang.
We were sitting there for longer than we thought. Like
Well, you guys thought you were going to be in and out.
we did.
I'm
We were
glad
there
I
for
went back
2
to work
hours.
to go down the rabbit hole of Cronometer.
Yeah, it's okay. We had to wait for the lab, and they weren't ready. And anyway, it was fine.
It's fine. It's fine.
It was fine. But they came and they gave us water, and then like an hour later, they came and offered us snacks.
Oh, yeah.
And we're just like, oh, heck yeah, I want some of those Cheez-Its or whatever. And the nurse is like, well, would you like a treat? Everybody likes sugar. And I'm like, I don't eat sugar.
You said that she said everyone eats sugar.
Yeah. Well, she said everyone likes sugar. And I said, actually, I don't eat sugar. And she's like, everyone likes sugar. I'm like, well, that's true, but I don't eat sugar. But there's some healthier ones in the bottom. I'm like, but they still have sugar, you know? And she's like, oh, okay. And then she's like, well, do you eat cheese? And I'm like, I eat cheese. She's like, I'll get you some cheese. I'm like, what are the odds that a nurse would have cheese to offer to patients?
Really wanted you to
She wanted me to be very happy. Well, it was like 5:30 at night, and we'd been there for an hour and a half. And so I ate a piece of cheese, and it was delicious.
Okay.
And a water bottle. It was just really funny. Everybody eats sugar. I'm like, you're right, you know, because there is sugar in everything, honestly. But there's just less sugar in everything I eat.
Yeah.
Less. A lot less.
Clark Kent says, what's up? And Johnny Marine says, have you guys ever heard of Relive or Relive?
Oh.
And what do you think about it?
I don't know.
I've never heard of it. I've heard of Relight. And we actually have...
Relight?
Well...
Yeah. Is that what you're talking about?
If that's what you're talking about, got some right here.
We love it.
Like, randomly right there.
Is that the lemon one?
It's the new strawberry lemonade.
I totally just bought 2 more bottles that I didn't remember that was in here.
They sent to you. This was the new formulation.
I like it. It's good.
That, in theory, doesn't clump as much.
It doesn't clump as much.
Okay.
It does still clump a little bit, but not as much.
Okay. Anne says, nuts and berries and cheese.
Yep.
I try not to eat nuts as much as possible because they are a slippery slope for me.
Slippery slope.
Like half of this right here is just nuts. Joyce says Relive causes dementia.
Oh, well, Joyce has heard of Relive.
Apparently.
I don't know what that is. Maybe it's medication.
Maybe.
We should Google it. Well, we're going to go.
Yep.
So...
we are going to go. So everybody, have a fantastic evening.
Yeah, thanks so much for joining us.
We'll see you next Monday. And then we'll actually be doing our Tuesday night live stream. Tuesday morning instead because
we're going to Happy Halloween with our kiddos.
Next Tuesday is Halloween. So you all have a great night, and we'll see you later.
Bye.
Bye.